This is the 22nd season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where we are going to talk about bass fishing. Month is in full swing in March. Best on Tour actually does this cool thing where they combine like every single tournament, Toyotas, Opens, BPTs, Elite Series, NPFLs, and then they stack it on top of each other. And there's like several weeks this month where there's like 3 major tournaments going on. There is a very major tournament that is rapidly approaching. And I'm not going to lie, like the year got underway and we had a good January on BTL, and then we worked through February, and then we're really working on dropping the Fishing Chaos BTL for St. Jude tournament that launched on March 1st. Already over 120 anglers in that. Tom Brubaker was on at the end of the show with Patrick Walters 2 days ago. And talked about that. If you're watching this, if you're a fan of BTL, if you're listening, if you're fishing anytime between March 1st and April 15th, this is a tournament that is designed for you. 100% of the proceeds go to benefit St. Jude, BTL sponsors, AFTCO, Strike King, Sunline, Spro, Gamakatsu got behind it. The goal is to raise over $10,000 for St. Jude. That goes to the Dick Hiley St. Jude Bass Classic that's raised over $9 million in 25 years. But it is a catch, measure, release your best 5 fish. You can fish any public body of water, any artificial lure. It took me a while to come around on the online tournaments, but it is super cool. And it is live. It is active. There are over 120 anglers that are out there competing. If you finish in the top 3 in each of your divisions by the end of April 15th, prizes for first, second, third. The link is in the bio for this. I went out yesterday, put a 21.5. I'm obviously, I organized it, obviously not eligible for any of the prizes that I'm actually doling out through BTL for this, but put a 21.5 incher on the board. And it's the BTL community, like we see in the comment section, in the instant feedback, on the Facebook groups, on the message boards, an opportunity to go out and do a little bragging rights. And then if you catch them also, we're going to have a weekly segment where we bring you on BTL and you talk about your fish. So if you're not familiar with it, links in it, download the Fishing Chaos app. You can sign up for the tournament. You can see everyone's fish catches, their photos, all sorts of that stuff. And then also if you need a measuring board, like I happen to have a 25-inch golden rule, which I carried around as like a backup golden rule because I don't fish Lake Fork for slot fish, and I never measure anything over, but it goes up to 25 inches. If you're looking for a good board, the catch board, a number of the certified boards, it's in the rules. But if you use capital BTL 10 at Omnia Fishing and your pro member, the pro member will ship out today before 1 p.m. Even if you're not a pro member, you just use capital BTL 10, get 10% off. That's around $40 for the board, plus the $25 donation to St. Jude. We're already over $3,000. But the major tournament that's taken place in March, and it snuck up. It kind of snuck up on me, which is wild because it used to be classic from the beginning of the year, and then you get the 2 Elite Series out of the way before it, and it's just focused on the classic. But man, there's so many tournaments. Like Patrick just won the MPFL. You had the Scope Goat on Santee. You've had a lot of crazy, the Hank Cherry with the grub. There's been a lot of really cool moments so far in 2026 in professional tournament fishing, which I'm not going to lie, there is a part of me like kind of going into this year, I was like, man, like, is there a little bit of pro fishing fatigue right now? We've seen the rise in the YouTube and all the controversy that we've had with some of the different leagues and all the different formats that they're running and all the bitching and moaning about the scope and the no scope and whether you won't and coin flips and stuff. But dude, this first 2 months and 4 days of 2026 has kind of rejuvenated me to cover professional bass fishing, to talk to the guys who are making it happen, who are making their living doing it. And one of those guys who's off to a great start this year, had a great year last year, qualified for his 3rd Bassmaster Classic of his career, is Wes Logan. And Wes Logan joins us from Alabama. Thanks for jumping on BTL, Wes.
Absolutely, man. I've always enjoyed coming on here and talking a little bit of bass fishing with you.
Am I off base in kind of feeling maybe a little bit of pro fishing fatigue over the last couple years? I know you're in a different scenario, being one of the top 100 on the Elite Series, but it just seemed like there wasn't a lot of buzz and excitement around it during certain sessions. And then this year it seems like is off to a banger start.
Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on with that. Like, and being in it, basically every day, like you kind of hear it from all sides and stuff like that. But I mean, from my standpoint with it, like I try not to listen to all the outside noise and stuff, but I definitely think you kind of hit the nail on the head with the fatigue thing. But I mean, I think it's just kind of going through a cycle, maybe. Like, everything has its kind of ups and downs. But I don't think professional fishing is going anywhere for that matter.
No, I wasn't saying that.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard it. Trust me. I've heard some stuff like that, and I'm like, man, just everybody calm down. Like, it's going to be all right. Like I said, everything has its ups and downs, and you just gotta. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a show. Me and you both make our living in the professional fishing industry. You use it catching, representing the brands that you have. I do it covering it, fishing a bunch of different avenues and stuff. But it's still, I think the Koike is a perfect example of how influential. You're smirking on that. We'll get into this. That's kind of the title of this. One of the reasons why I wanted to get you on there is a perfect example of the impact that professional tournaments and professional anglers still have on the overall industry and driving trends, lures, tactics, baits, commerce, and all of that. Like, there's tens of thousands of people that are purchasing urchin style baits and the hooks and the weights and the setups and all of that. And that's mainly because of Fisher Anaya and what went down at the Bassmaster Open on Sam Rayburn. And without that, you're talking about 10% of bass fishermen that know about it, as opposed to 80 to 90% now. And that's because of the guys who are putting the entry fees on, spending all the time on the road, fishing the tours, and have the knowledge and the wherewithal to use it, promote it, and use those platforms with the live, with the photo galleries, with all that to get new baits out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I would go even farther than baits. Like, when I won at 10 Killer, like, I think me and you were both sponsored by AFCO. It had been raining that morning, and I forgot to put my tennis shoes in the boat because I knew it was going to stop raining during the day. Well, I had to wear the AFCO deck boots all day with my just shorts and sun shirt on. And I know AFCO got a lot of questions and messages about where they could purchase the deck boots and stuff like that. So regardless of what anybody says, like, when we're on live, like, people are still paying attention to what we have, how we do stuff. I was using some Spike It in that tournament also, and I think they got a lot of calls about what I was actually using in an aerosol can instead of the dip, stuff like that. Just people pay a lot more attention than I think the general consensus is, I guess would be a good way to put it. But with that being said, I mean, the YouTube guys, I mean, they obviously push a lot of product too. So I think it's, there's a place for everybody. And I think we can all kind of work together if people would get their head out of their butt and quit being so stubborn.
Dude, I love the wormholes. We'll start it. You mentioned it. So the Spike It, that is a source of contention for boat owners across the country. Like, it's your own boat, right? But so you have the three versions of it. You have the bottle, the very dangerous bottle.
Yeah.
You have the potentially dangerous spray formula that is just basically a spray can, spray paint of the chartreuse. And then you have the pens. You are a spray guy, but I have also found that a spray on a windy day can be an absolute nightmare. Yeah. Do you go back and forth between the three? Because I don't think there's a guy among us who's been fishing more than a decade who hasn't had the, oh crap, the bottle opened, or the co-angler that just suddenly gets very quiet on the back deck
and never tells you. Like, you just find it a couple weeks later.
Yeah. Or like when you go to turn your boat in at the end of the year, there's just like a blotch of chartreuse or orange in that plastic that you cannot get out. You have to go get the Mr. Eraser pads and just sit there and scrub on your hands and knees to try to get it out. But do you have all three, or are you a spray guy exclusively?
I just got a hodgepodge of stuff, honestly, and it was basically just one of the things where I was just using it that week, so I just happened to grab it because it was like I literally had it sitting out. I was like, I'll just use this week. But no, not really. I've had one bad mishap that I did, like drop the bottle when I was younger in my dad's boat. But, was
he in the boat with you?
No.
Oh, so that's even worse.
Yeah,
because then you have to fish the rest of the day knowing.
Well, the problem was I wasn't even fishing. Like he was at work and I had got home from school. I was young, like I couldn't even drive. I was probably 10, 11 or 12. And I mean, I was up to date with what was going on. Like we were fishing tournaments and stuff, and I was kind of messing with some stuff, not playing around, but like, playing with some baits. And that's when it happened. So I wasn't even really fishing, but I did have to wait till he got home from work, but he was cool about it. Like I think he would rather me be out in the boat than, doing a bunch of shenanigans, not in said boat, if you get what I'm saying. So,
yeah, I've gone exclusively. I buy the 4-pack of markers. I put it in a 3600 box, and I just leave the markers in that. Now, that being said, I end up with all sorts of little chartreuse marks on my carpet because in the middle of the tournament you
roll the bait.
You put the tail of the worm and roll the bait down, and then you have to take the water and then rub the carpet. There's not the best thing, I guess, is to pre-dip your baits the night before if you know you're going to be flipping or using a worm or something that you want to die.
Not a fan.
You're not a fan of pre-dipping?
Nah.
What, not as fresh? You think it gets on the baits? Why don't you pre-dip? Like if you know you're throwing a shaky head, you're not going to pre-dip 12 green pumpkin worms with the chartreuse tip on the tail. You'd rather do it on the water in the tournament.
Yeah, it's just a mental thing to me, but I mean, a lot of that, that spike it stuff is a type of scent that they put in there, whether it's the garlic or the crawfish or the mixture. And I, like I said, it may just be a mental thing. And I don't like dipping baits and putting them like back in a bag or back in a box because it does kind of get all over everything. But I don't know. I would just rather do it, from the get-go. Or, not from the get-go, from being on the water. And dude, I'll be honest with you, man, I don't catch that many fish, so I don't go through that many baits. I just use 3 or 4 worms a day, and so it's not really taking that much of my time out.
Okay, so you mentioned the set. I talked about this on a previous show. I have unlocked a new way to screw up the carpet of your boat. It is the Taku juice mixed with the Taku powder. Have you dove into that world of soaking and powdering your plastics yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the best out there that I've found, and we've done this for a long time, or I've been a scent guy since like me and my dad was growing up. We used to use the Bang. I think you can still buy it at Academy and stuff, and it may be available everywhere.
Yeah, you get it at Walmart. I just was in Walmart the other day. Just, you can't go into a Walmart without walking down. And literally, I just wasn't planning on buying it, but I just sat there and huffed it for like 10 seconds because it brought back so many good memories.
Yeah, the Bang combo was what we always used. It was like a shad crawfish combination. But either way, the Nori's bite powder and the Taku juice is what I call it. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely down that rabbit hole, but I've actually seen it make a really big difference. I just started using the powder this year or late last year into this year. Big believer in that, but definitely a believer in soaking it. I haven't combined them. I don't know if that's what you were hinting at. I didn't know if that was the deal. I didn't know if I was kind of scared to combine it if it like chemical reaction like blow up in my face.
Here's what I think you're supposed to do. Here's what I've been doing this year is you put it in like a little Tupperware thing and you like soak it. Like I put a couple packs of Sakamadas in there. Don't hate me. And I left them in there for like a couple weeks, but I only put 2 packs because I didn't know like, hey, is that going to mess with the plastic? Like, you soak plastics and we've all got those Cincos that are 15 inches long sticking out from the bottom of the lake, but it didn't do anything. It just made it smell awful. And then like 2 days before, I took them out, patted them dry, put them in a Ziploc, put some powder in the Ziploc, and then shook it up, which no problem. But then tournament morning, when you pull that thing out and you rig it, and then it gets on your front deck. Now, wherever your rods lay is just a white cloud of powder all over your front deck. And then if you make a couple casts and lay it down, then you've got the slime powder all over your deck. But then you're convinced that the fish bought because of it. And the next thing you know, it's like a shrimp beach on your front deck.
Golly. I'm not, well, up until this point, I haven't done the minnow deal yet. But I have been soaking my like Zoom trick worms and stuff like that in it. But yeah, it is messy. I haven't, like I said, I hadn't really seen it soaked into my carpet. Yeah, but I haven't done the mixture, like soaking it and then putting the powder on it where it's all like a slime.
That's what you're supposed to do, Wes. You're only 50% effective right now.
Yeah, y'all better watch out when I figure out the 100%, I guarantee.
And I have to be even more careful because my wife is deathly allergic to shellfish. So shrimp, clams, any of that stuff. So like if I have her in the boat, like I have to be like, I mean, if she goes, I have to be careful. Like I have to do that stuff while she flies 4 days a week. So I have to do all of my soaking and powdering while she's away.
Holly, if you took that little clip you just said out of context and just posted it, we'd both be like, what kind of podcast is this? Like,
yeah, I'm sure high class Bassmaster memes will be all over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but they live for that kind of stuff.
What percent of guys are scent guys and not? Like, I always end up on these things, and it always interests me. There are some guys who won't make a cast without having their stuff doctored, and there's other guys that are like all placebo.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like us anglers all try and get as big as advantage as we can because obviously we're fishing against the best guys in the world. I don't know. I don't really talk about it with other guys. And me personally, like, dude, I don't know if it matters or not. But, like, if it helps me mentally think I'm going to catch one, like, that's all that matters. Like, it's 95% mental. I mean, you've played this game long enough. Like, if you think you're going to get a bite, you do whatever you can to make you think you're going to get that bite. Like, it's just like colors and stuff. Like, I don't think all these colors need all this certain flake and this type of stuff. But if you think it needs gold and purple flake in it, you're going to go find something with gold and purple flake in it. Like, it's just kind of is what it is.
That's true. All right, let's talk about some derby fishing. Like you're on a fair amount of a little bit of a heater here. MPFL championship had high expectations for you. Had high expectations for you going into that one on Smith Lake, especially with Patrick and John Cox and Kyle Welcher up there. I thought you'd be mixing it up, but I think having fished Smith before in the time of the year there, I think they made it look, especially Patrick on day 2, but I think those guys made it look a little bit easier than it actually was with all those changing conditions over the 3 days.
Yeah, for sure. I love Smith. Like, it's one of my favorite lakes. I'd never fished it, honestly, and I've fished quite a few tournaments there. I'd never fished it that time, like basically that week, that end of February, as clear as it was, as low as it was. Like, we just haven't had any rain in the southeast. Like even at Martin, like going back, like 2 similar lakes, like normally I fish those, it's dirty, it's muddy, like it's high, like it's just easy to fish the way I like to fish. And I knew the potential for like what Patrick did on day 2 is always on Smith because, I mean, big ones live there. And when you run into them, like you really run into them. I don't know. It was just basically a week from hell for me. Like if one thing went right, 10 things went wrong. And I'm talking about from putting my boat in to practice to getting back to the campground stuff going. Like, it just literally, I hope I got it all out of my system for next week. But it was bad. Like, if I got a good bite and caught one, like the next 5 I got to bite would come off. Like, it just, I don't know. You just have those weeks, and it sucks. But and when you're in it, like you're like, it's like you're just falling down this hole and you can't like grab on enough. You can't catch your breath. And then when it's finally all over, you're like, all right, let's go reset. Like, everything's fine. The world's not over. But I will say I did go fish too. I mean, and everybody's going to say this. I went and tried to win. Like, I could have probably went and fished for spotted bass all day and caught 11 or 12 pounds a day, but I knew that wasn't going to win. So, like, why even go out there and try it? So I went and picked up my flipping stick and my spinner bait and my swim jig and my mag draft, and I just let it be what it's going to be. And if 5 or 6 bites go a different way, like, we're having a whole different conversation, but it just didn't happen. Like, some of them come off, some of them just ate my mag draft in half. Like, I'd come back with just half the swim, but like, it's unbelievable.
Ate a mag draft in half.
Yeah, like a 4-pound spot.
I've never even had that happen. That's
dude,
a fish
it ate it so good, like it got it. Like I watched it, and I knew it didn't eat the whole bait. And like when I leaned into it, dude, it just like shredded the mag draft like from behind the hook. And I had like edited, not edited, but like modified this mag draft, like brought the hook back and stuff because I've had stuff like that happen, and it just, I don't know, man. It just wasn't my week. I'm just being honest.
You brought it up. What do? You add a couple extra little split rings in there to just
just bring your hook back a little bit. You can put a longer shank treble hook on it, stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, dude. I've thrown that thing enough. If they gonna eat it, you gonna catch them. Like you might get one or two that swipe at it, like the spotted bass do. But when them largemouth come up there and eat it, and they want it, like you got it. Like he's coming on.
You ever get problems with gill hook fish on those belly treble hook baits? Like that always makes me super nervous throwing those belly, the under the belly, as you get them in the tongue and the gill a lot.
Yeah, I heard a very well-respected angler say this one time, John, and I probably might catch some heat for this, but John Cox said one time, he said, a dead 6-pounder is better than no 6-pounder. I mean,
that's one way to look at it.
He's not wrong.
I know, no, wrong. Definitely in it. I mean, there's a real why there.
I mean, I don't want to kill any of them, but
yeah, no. Why we have a creel limit and they have DNRs and all that. There's a population of fish that are getting taken out and filleted every single day. So, I mean, if you're 99%, I think we're pretty good stewards of the resource.
Absolutely. I mean, if a 6-pounder eats it, I don't care where he gets. So as long as he gets in the boat, we'll figure it out after he gets in there.
Yeah. Speaking of mag draft, let's talk classic. I was putting the shows together this week, and I was like, Wes Logan would be a perfect example of this because we saw what you did at 10 Killer. We saw you did top 5 at Gunnersville in the no scope tournament. And then we're coming into the 3rd Bassmaster Classic, really the 4th major event on this Tennessee River. Gussie used a combination of old school, but basically minnowing to win 2 events, live scope, 360 Humminbird, however he did that, dominated. It's progressed since his classic at his Elite Series win as far as the technology. But then we also saw a really old school event go down just there right around the split there that Odd Defo won. You had Zaldane with the mag draft at the time that you were throwing there, but we saw chatterbaits and the old school balsa baits and flipping and all that. So I'm looking at the field for this upcoming classic, and these kids have been pre-practicing and being like, I caught 9 7-pounders on the Tennessee River
on Fort Loudon.
And I'm 17 years old, but I also know how that goes down and how much it changes. And I thought, you're what, 31 now?
Yeah.
I thought, man, is Wes Logan the last of the old school anglers that's fishing in the Bassmaster Classic now?
Yeah, I hate the term, not that you said it. I just hate the term like old school fishing.
I said it twice. It's in the title and in the thumbnail. So you can directly direct your hate towards me on that.
No, definitely not. Like I'm not a hateful person by any means. I just like, and like sometimes I come on stage when I've been on camera and Dave's like, man, it's so refreshing watching you old school fish. I'm like, Dave, this is how I fish this is just me bass fishing. But with that being said, like I'll turn that Garmin on. Like I have become unstubborn very quickly. Like you'll get your teeth kicked in when that thing's playing and you think you're just going to go out there and compete with them. And some guys can, I'm not one of those guys. So I think it does hurt me sometimes being the age that I am. Cause like you just said, I'm on that fence. Like I'm young enough to be like a technology savvy person. And then I'm also old enough to know like, hey, I'll be running down the lake when I go flip that play down. Cause it's, in the shade or something. So I have a lot of stuff pulling at me a lot of times in our scope tournaments. And like I said, sometimes I think it's detrimental, and sometimes I appreciate that I actually know how to use it.
But are you the last guy at 31 who has that mentality? Is there anybody out there younger than you who runs down the lake and thinks that same way? Or are you kind of the last of that generation at 31?
Younger than me, I don't know that there would be many. I think the guys that are around my age are a little bit, within 2 or 3 years of me that still do that are guys that grew up around here. And when I say around, like in this Alabama region, and the guys I'm talking about is like that, like come to mind is like a Kyle Welcher, a Wesley Gore, that grew up, fishing, pattern stuff, Coosa River, Tennessee River, Eufaula, stuff like that, where you still have to do that to compete sometimes, but obviously, they can scope with the best of them. But again, we're all within 2 or 3 years of being the same age. And I'm sure there's some other guys, but those two names just come to mind. But yeah, I think when you get around that, I want to say 27, which I guess they would be born in 99. If my math may be wrong on that, it's close anyway. If you're born after 2000, you probably don't have that mindset anymore, like at all. Like, I'm not saying you can't you can't go flip laydowns. I'm not saying anybody can't do that, but for that to be pulling at you all the time during a tournament, like it's just not there.
So you figured out how to merge those two. You have the win. You did it in the no scope deal, but I am looking at this upcoming classic thinking that could be a massive advantage for you on this crazy fishery that there's a lot of history on where both have played.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't really looked into it a lot. Like the actual, I fished one tournament there. I fished the elite there that Gussie won. Didn't do great. I think it wasn't a great event for me. It was tough for a lot of guys, obviously. I don't think it was fishing very good. I think it's a little better now. But sorry, I read that comment.
Yeah, no, I'll throw up some of the comments here. We have a pretty educated comment base that usually stays pretty solid.
For sure. I think looking at, this week, last week, this week, and it'll be our week of practice, and then everybody knows the classic week's real crazy as far as our practice goes. The weather's an interesting dynamic with how warm it's been and how warm it's going to stay. But I don't know, man. It's gonna be a weird tournament with all, like you said, with all the history of the way Ott won, the way guys caught them in that tournament. But I think looking back on some of the clips of that, dude, the conditions when they were there was like it couldn't get any better for like bass fishing. Like it was high, it had been warm, the water was muddy, there was a lot of current, and I know the Tennessee River good enough, dude. When it's rolling and it's dirty, they gonna get in places you can catch them for sure. And I just don't know. Like we're gonna get some rain, but it's I'm not a weatherman, and I don't even think the weathermen really are that accurate anymore. It may rain 10 inches up there and it be rolling again, which I think would be beneficial to me. But I do have I've learned here in the last recent years, low water tournaments don't fit me that great, and I hadn't really I feel like that's my bad weakness. But if that water is ever full pool or rising, I feel like I've got a very big advantage. So maybe it'll rain a lot, and we'll roll into something like that when we get there.
I find it odd how certain anglers like develop their strengths and their weaknesses. I'm sure it's who you're in the boat with when you're younger. I'm sure it's the part of the country that you live into. But like I could have another guy on that's like, man, I love when the water's low because it puts, all the fish in an area and they're a lot easier to find. And then you have a guy and they're like, I hate when it's high because it spreads them out and you don't know where to look for them. Then you have a guy like you that's like just the opposite. You're both equally successful. I find that like interesting how guys can like build careers around really kind of different subtle patterns. And you could even, have success on the same body of water that's different on different water levels and current and stuff like that. But I think that's one of the cool, interesting factors of our sport. It's kind of like you have some golfers that they like the Poana greens or the bent grass, or you have some tennis players that for some reason are really good on clay and they're not on normal. That's a cool dynamic. Did you like the fisheries you grew up on? Did they typically fluctuate? Did they typically flood a lot? So you spend a lot of time up in the bushes, park benches, stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any river system, you've got an opportunity for it to flood a lot, especially in the springtime. And I think it just made me feel comfortable with not being overwhelmed with how much stuff's in the water. I get a sense of confidence of saying okay, if I go in this pocket and there's 47 bushes in the water. Like I got 47 chances to catch one. Like mentally, I'll be honest with you. Like here's where I really struggle with, and I know it with the low water stuff. Like everybody knows low water, like an isolated piece of wood on a flat is like, high percentage, like could be a bass right there. Well, I have a problem mentally. Like if everybody's running pockets and, I think 3 people have gone in this pocket and hit this piece of wood. Why do I think I'm going to go over there and catch one if 3 other people have fished it? Like, I don't know. That just really gets at my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just bothers me. But if I roll in somewhere like a 10 killer or a Eufaula that week after at that NPFL, there's freaking bushes everywhere. I'm like, I can pick this apart better than somebody else. Like, yeah. I can flip it better. I can, figure out a little different bait type something. I don't know. And that's a mental thing I definitely got to work on because, you're trying to be the best, out there. You've got to be able to catch them, whether it's dirty, clear, high, low, all that, hot, cold, it don't matter. But there's obviously, when you get in your wheelhouse, you've got to take advantage of it. And I feel like I try and pride myself with that. When I got a chance to catch them, like when everything sets up right, like I need to, execute and do, make the most of the opportunity.
Okay. So you roll into 10 killer. I'm very familiar with 10 killer. Mm-hmm. There's literally flippable bushes around 90% of that lake, all of which look almost identical. When you dump your boat in on the water on a place like 10 killer, where you obviously don't have a rich history, especially when the water comes up, mm-hmm. What are a couple keys that you're looking for that make you stop on a particular stretch of bushes when you have, it's a 12,000 acre lake and 10,000 acres of it are flooded bushes? How do you determine this is the 3 football fields that I want to hang my hat on and not the other 37 miles of flooded bushes that look the exact same to the naked eye?
Yeah. To me, it was, especially that week, it was all water clarity based. Like with you being familiar with it, obviously that when it had flooded so bad, that upper, mm-hmm. I don't know the name of the bridge up there. Like as the river kind of starts. I
just call it the bridge.
So at the bridge, from the bridge up was like as red as like Oklahoma red, like just mm-hmm. nasty looking stuff. And I rode way up that joke because I thought there might be a chance to get behind it. Like, it's come like there's a line of it coming down and get behind it. I never found that. But from running I put it at the dam every day because we were camping down there. And as you would run up the lake, you would notice the water clarity would kind of start turning. And in practice, like I fished all sections of it, but I started noticing that the quality of the fish in that slightly stained water, like it kind of had a green tint to it, like just mm-hmm. a healthy, like wasn't muddy, wasn't blown out, but it had enough color in it where, you could see maybe a foot, which I got real comfortable with because that's how it is at home. Like when I can fish anywhere that's less than a foot visibility, I kind of like my odds. But when I got around that type watercolor and then got a few bites and just noticed how they were setting up and the quality of the fish, it just seemed like there was a different breed of fish in that section that I fished. And I don't know if I had to do a clarity or not, but in my mind it did. So that's kind of how I broke it down. And then once I realized what section of the lake that was, I just started kind of really picking it apart and seeing where I needed to be and when, where they were wanting to be and where they weren't.
Are you a deep dive app guy?
So it's funny you say that. No, I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I knew of the app, but I didn't know what it did. Like, and then last week at Smith, I'm hearing these guys talk and I'm like, what the hell y'all talking about? Like, what? Like, how do you know? Like, because, hey, I'll put my boat in and run 20 miles to go see.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying on just on that. Like, so listen, this is no BS. I was talking with them and they're like, hey, we really want to really hammer home how easy it is to use the water clarity feature on the deep dive app. Like, work that into a couple shows because and so no BS. You talk about that. And I'm like, okay. So like I pulled up 10 killer. This was not planned. So let's see if we get it. There's 10 killer right there. And that's the water clarity. And you can see based on the color right there, when you zoom in right now and you get to the bridge, you wouldn't have to run up there. You could literally just pull that app up right there, like put it at the dam and be like, okay, like maybe we need to go put in a different ramp if we're looking for off-colored water. And then the wild thing is that you could go, 30 days prior to that, this is current right here, and know that it was clear up there, but now it's stained.
That's crazy. That is absolutely like it just, we always talk about the learning curve, like wherever, whether it's during the event, like in your career, like it just speeds everything up. Like
this is technology. Like if Randy Blockett needs to be pissed about anything, it's this stuff.
That is kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. Like
this is, to me, is incredibly helpful. Like what you would talk about. Like I remember doing interviews with guys who would be like, my first day of practice,
go ride
without fail. I don't have a rod on. How many old school guys said what you do is you put in on one end of the lake and you burn $100 worth of gas, and you get a visual of the back of every creek and the back of every, and what the watercolor is. And then you have 2 days to make your decisions based on that.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing, like with the older generation, like, older than me, man, a big deal, like I don't think it gets talked about a lot, is obviously how they practice. Like they'd have to go ride around, look at stuff. Dude, there was no live. Like it was all an hour show on ESPN on Saturday mornings after the event was over. Dude, like there was no YouTube and stuff. Like the learning, like just like what we said, the learning curve is so much faster. Like I can never have been to a pond before or a lake, wherever. And I know where it went down the last time they were there. I know how they got caught. I know how they were working their bait because it was all put right in front of me. Like, and that's great for the sport because it's cool to watch. But fishing there's no way somebody can tell me fishing's easier now than it was 15 to 20 years ago, because you could have secrets. Nobody really knew where it went down. Like I said, you had a doctored up hour show, whether it be FLW, whether it be Bassmaster, whatever. Like, and I mean, I guess it's just the way of the world. I'm not trying to go on a soapbox, but there's no way, like I said, somebody can tell me that fishing was harder 15 years ago than it is right now.
I think there's also an element of the live to where like you could watch you on 10 Killer and you maybe pick up a couple of tricks.
Yeah.
But you watch Fisher and Naya in the last Elite, and you pick up entirely new baits, techniques, and way to catch fish that you didn't even know existed.
Yes, absolutely.
Is that fair? Like, I mean,
yeah,
like,
sure. Absolutely.
It's interesting. Like the live definitely exposes new stuff way more than it refines traditional stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Which in my situation and Fisher's situation and the other 199 guys that are out there, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like it kind of sucks, but it kind of doesn't, because we're out there competing for our livelihood while also promoting all of our sponsors and needing to sell stuff. So it's hard to keep secrets is basically what I'm getting at. Like you got to promote everything, and you got to catch them on like different type techniques. Like however, I never even watched the Martin event. I was a little frustrated, but I mean, obviously I know kind of how it went down.
Did you have the Koike on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I caught a bomb. I can take you to a place and you can catch as many 113s as you want, and they look like cigar minnows. They're about that long.
Yeah,
real skinny. Anyway, like it's just like I said, it's just the way the world is now in professional fishing. Like it's just, you want to show people, you want to teach people, because that's how you get people engaged. That's how you sell product. That's how you make money for your sponsors, and then that's how you have a longevity of a career. But there's no more, like I said, there's no more secrets. Like you gonna catch them doing something one time, and I mean, it's a bass. Like they have no cognitive thought. Like, oh, that's Fisher and I's Koike. I'm not gonna eat it no more. Like they don't know that, but it will get progressively harder to catch a bass on a new like if you've got something they're really biting, you try and keep it a secret as long as you can this day and age. Like there's not many left, but or if you could figure up like a little tactic, like to do something a little different, like you just try and keep it as close to the best as you can, even if you do have, happen to be on camera.
You don't think there's much left? Like I don't think people thought there was much left once the chatterbait came out. I don't think there are people that probably said, oh, like this is like, I just think it's going to just continue and continue and continue and continue and continue like it has from, I mean, this is only 60 years old.
Yeah. I mean, the innovation's never going to stop. Like now, do I think a lot of that stuff from out of the country is all legit? Probably not. Like I think a lot of it, or half of it's probably kind of just, hey, they're so dumb they'll buy it. But a lot of it's legit, and it'll keep getting better. And even, you know, in the country, like, you know, we're coming up with better stuff, but like, how many times can you reinvent the chatterbait? How many times can you reinvent the spinnerbait? But I don't know. Like I said, we're dealing with a fish the brain size of a peanut. Like, we're gonna keep catching them. And the way, also, I would plug this a little bit, like the way DNRs are doing, and like Texas Parks and Wildlife, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like the way they're helping the fisheries is going to help tremendously for years to come with us being able to actually catch fish and stuff. So that's always a big, you know, stocking and all that stuff too. Whole different rabbit hole, but that will help tremendously too.
I just had this conversation with my buddy. We were on the water yesterday.
I'm just reading your mind, Matt. Like,
no, this is so good. I love these shows. So I catch a 7-4, and I was out. I wanted to put a fish in on the Fishing Chaos app, do a little video about how that tournament is live. You register, raise money for St. Jude, and I let it go. And that was the biggest one I caught yesterday. And we got off the water. I said, damn, that sucked. I caught a couple 3.5s, a 7.5, and like a 2-pounder. And we're riding home and I start chuckling. And I'm like, dude, over the last 4 days, I've caught an 8 and 2 7.5s. And I've been very disappointed with my performance on the water. I weighed in a 5.5 in a tournament. I fished a tournament Saturday and Sunday. And I was like, it wasn't that long ago for like, that would be my year. Like if someone had told you, hey, you'll have an 8 and 2 7.5s before March in Oklahoma, I'd be like, dude, that's sign me up for that. Like I caught an 11 in like 2012. And then I had 3 10-pounders basically for 20 years that I've lived in Oklahoma. And I think I've caught like 6 over the last couple years. Went down to Mexico. I've got like 13 or 14 now. I'm not like saying that to brag, but I'm just saying, like, have you noticed? Oh, and then like the 30-pound bags, like the scope goes out, has 2-day total, 68 pounds on Santee, which led me to go back and watch Brandon Polinick's win on Santee, where I think it was like 68, 70 pounds, something like that. And on day 2 or 3, he catches a 9.5-pound limit on Santee Cooper, catches a line burner, and is like, I got 5. That was the goal for the day. And I'm like, dude, that was 5 years ago. Like the weights, the size of the fish, the number of big fish, like 30-pound bags used to be stop the presses. We got to get this guy on BTL. Let's do a 3-part series on how he averaged 6 pounds a tournament. And now it's like, oh, it didn't take 30 pounds a day to win all these tournaments. Like, have you noticed that too? Are you seeing that in your fishing? And the guys that you're talking to were just the size of the fish that they're catching year round, and the bags that are taking to win it are just astronomically bigger than they were just several years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's from, you know, California to South Carolina to New York to Florida. Like the weights are just bigger, and obviously the fisheries are some of them are very healthy, but it is. I feel, and I'm not trying to be that guy. Trust me, I'm
asking you. We're having a conversation about it.
It directly, I feel like it directly correlates from guys being so good with live scope.
100%.
One of my light bulbs went out. I guess I was getting shunned for saying that. Like that was like,
no, you've got those. I've got the same thing. They're those
they trash, man.
Energy efficient light bulbs, and then they'll flicker, and then they won't go out, and then they'll go really dim, and you'll go in your kitchen, and you'll be like, "Why are my lights on, and I still can't see in here?"
It's kind of like death in my truck. Like it's just like, can we not just make a light bulb that burns?
No, it's 100% scope, but I also think it plays back to the information. I think it's a combination of a bunch of
both. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's a combination of the information at your fingertips, like the YouTube, the live, stuff like that. Guys learning how to fish faster, or not fish faster, like get the learning curve we were talking about. That is driving me nuts.
I wish I had some techno music queued up with Wes Logan. We'll take a break here if you want to go up and hit it with like a broomstick or something here in a second.
I'll hit it with a damn hammer is what I'll do. Maybe it'll hold off right there. But yeah, and I mean, they're catching fish. You also got to think about it this way. There a lot of those, not all situations, but a lot of those fish out there floating in those ditches and those drains, like out there sunning pre-spawn, like those are the biggest fish in the lake. And we figured out how to catch them, very well. Like, very consistently, very, just very good at it. And like I said, when you're able to, focus on the biggest fish in the lake, and you've got a lake that's got them, like a San Rayburn or a Santee or even a Gunnersville, like they gonna weigh them in. Like that's the one thing I've noticed with the scope deal. When you got like fishing against our guys, whatever swims in there, that's what they're gonna weigh in. Like it's just it is what it is, and I don't know. I think that's here to stay. Like it's amazing how like you just said, a 30-pound bag is just like, he caught 30 pounds on Santee. He's in 10th place. Like, I mean, I've never caught 30 pounds, but like, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with how they caught it. Like, I probably couldn't go out there and catch 30 pounds either, even with the live scope. But it's just the way of the world now. Like that's exactly 100% why the weights look like they are everywhere we go, or everywhere anywhere it goes.
I fished that tournament on Saturday and legitimately told my partner, okay, we have to have 40 to have a shot.
That's insane.
Like 40, like 40. Now, granted, it took 21 pounds to win the tournament and 15 to cash a check. The fish changed just a tad.
Yeah.
But just to drop your boat in a 40 boat jackpot and realistically feel like you need 40 pounds to have a shot to win is wild.
What's crazy, and so Nick LeBrun won the Toyota Series at Rayburn, correct?
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure I'm getting all these facts right.
Yeah.
They can scope for 3 hours a day, correct?
Correct.
And then the following week was when Pake won the Open.
With 96 on 3 days.
96, correct. So, like, there's never been a better side-by-side comparison of two bodies of water. The conditions really didn't change.
Yeah, well, they kind of did.
Did it get warmer? Did they pull up?
It was like it was like 50-degree water when LeBrun won, and literally like the coldest. When it was 64, 63 when Pake, and those fish flooded in there. But that being said, 100% I agree. On the lower end, it took 18.5 pounds a day to cash a check in the Open, and like 15
out, dude. Like
15 a day to cash a check in the Toyota. And that's the majority of the field that isn't on the freak show, where they show up bags that are just going out and catching fish. And that's the difference between 3 hours versus 8.5 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody that's watching, I'm not bashing anything that anybody's doing. Like, I'm not bashing the live. I use it. I turn it on. I have a Garmin 8616. I got the best screen they make. Like, I got the best transducer they make. It's not a bashing thing. It's just the way bass fishing, tournament bass fishing is now. Like, it is.
When was the last time you didn't catch them very well over the last 3 years, but still cashed a check? This will be a very telling answer, where you came in and were like, I don't think I caught him that well, but you still cashed a check.
Trying to think. I mean, probably I'm trying to think of last year.
You're proving my point right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like
there's
I was
no grinders anymore. You have to catch them in order to cash a check. Like, it used to not always be that way.
So me and Riley were talking about this on the way home from Smith. Your bad tournaments now, like if you have a bad tournament, you're going to be last. Like, you're going to finish last. Like, it is what it is. Like, you can even manage, like, have a really bad one day and just kind of try and survive the second day. You're going to be in the bottom 10. It's just the way the world is. The anglers that we're fishing against, you have to come and show up every day at work and catch them as good as you possibly can. And you still may not make the cut. Like, I think the days of going out there, like, not having a clue, like, you better have some type of clue, because they're fixing to kick your teeth in. I don't care if it's MPFL, BPT, Elites, Toyota Series, Opens. It don't matter. Like, the dudes, everybody's catching them. Like,
if you caught 15 pounds a day at Rayburn, 5 3-pounders, and you fish Rayburn, you know it. There's big ones in there, but there's also a lot. I mean, like, there's
a lot of
3-pound average. You come in feeling pretty decent, regardless of the time of the year or whatever. Like, you're not going to win, but you also know you're not going to be last. You were in 90th place in that Open, 200 boats. 90th place if you came in with 15 pounds a day.
Dude, there was the Alabama Bass Trail. Like, all right, that was the North Division.
ABT.
Yeah, was at Gunnersville last weekend. There was 3 28-pound bags for the top 3. I think if I'm correct on this. One of my buddies had a high 19 and was in the highest, almost 80th place with 20 pounds out of a 200 boat field. Like, now Guntersville's unbelievable. Like, I mean, it's I don't know how it's not the best lake in the country.
Why does it keep kicking them out? Why are those fish not
grass,
good?
dude? Like,
Is it grass?
From one end of the other is just solid eelgrass. Like, I just don't think you can catch them all. Like,
oh dear God,
the whole thing, dude. Like, now it's hard to, like, it's aggravating to fish sometimes, but from a fish's standpoint, I don't think it could get any better.
28. You come in with a 23-pound bag. You get a
what was top 10?
Like
22.
Top 10 was 24.60.
Goodness gracious.
20th place was 22.77. 35th place was 21. If you caught a 20-pound bag, you finished in 54th place.
That's 20 pounds, Matt. 5 bass.
And if you came in with 19 pounds, you were in 70th place. And if you came in with 18 pounds, you were in 90th place.
100 place is 18 pounds.
15 pounds was 132nd. And a solid 2.5 pound average got you barely top 200.
Yeah, you throw them back, I guess. Like, I don't know. And I mean, Gunners was kind of an anomaly. Like I said, it's
but that's
incredible.
Ridiculous. That's consistency through the field is ridiculous. I mean, that's like the weights that you saw at Falcon in 2008.
Yeah. Gunnersville's got more 4 to 6 pounders than I've ever seen in my life in 31 years on this earth. Now, what's weird is what you used to see at Gunnersville, the 8 to 10s that would show up are just not, like, every now and then somebody will catch one, but the consistently, really, really big fish is just not showing up yet.
Michael Cole says you have to catch them in club tournaments nowadays so you'll finish last.
I don't fish many, which a lot of places around here won't let me fish anymore anyway.
Which is total bullshit.
That's a whole different podcast. I thought, good boy, I can go down a rabbit hole on that one now. Golly. But, yeah. I don't know. I thought we were talking about the Classic, man.
No, we are. But one more thing on that.
Yeah.
I also had a recent conversation. So imagine the Terry Scroggins, Paul Elias, Aaron Martins, imagine Falcon take that lake, that week, and that fishery
right now
and give everybody the technology that we have today. What does that tournament take to win? Now, I know that was a long time ago, but I know that that's like one of the top 3 iconic Bassmaster tournaments, probably the top Bassmaster iconic tournament that Paul Elias set the record on. 132.8.
It would be cool to do, like, if you could ever figure out, like, I mean, there's no humanly way to do it, but it'd be, what do you win with, like 134, 132 or
132.8?
Yeah. Dude, he may, like, whoever won may have had, I don't know, let's just say 145, 140.
Oh, I was thinking like 160.
Dude, they don't get much bigger than what he was catching. Like,
there were multiple, like 42, 43. There was a 44-pound bag weighed in that.
I'm with you. But, like, he was on the best school of fish on the lake. Now, I think what would have happened, top 50 would have been like 120 is probably what really be the case. Like, the winning weight would probably be a little bit higher, but I bet down to the top, I'm telling you, dude, down the field, they would have all had 100. Like, because you're getting to throw it, I don't know what your average has to be to have 100 pounds. Like, they'd all be catching 6.
25 a day is 100 pounds. So if you fish for 3 days, it'd be 33 pounds a day.
Yeah, I think there would have been so many 100-pound bags or 100-pound, century belts. It would have been unbelievable.
I'm shocked that record has not been broken in the past 3 years, especially with going to Fork and especially with going to a couple of these fisheries. Like, I'm shocked that it hasn't been broken.
I think it's just, I mean, Fork's good, dude. Like, Fork's but it's small. Like, it's just not like you catch big ones. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like that week. I don't even remember who won. I guess Trey won when it was just unbelievable.
Just dumb.
That's about as good as it's probably ever going to get at Fork. Like, dude, the amount of people that are out there and how small that place is, like it just gets.
So it's like the information is like the information that is allowing these big sacks to come in is also protecting the longevity of like being able to do it 4 days in a row.
I think so. Yeah.
So like Chickamauga probably has that potential, but because Chickamauga gets so much pressure and because people know where it is and because those big fish get targeted, you might have a 40-pound bag one day, but you can't do it 4 days in a row.
Correct.
And Gunnersville just doesn't have that caliber of 8 pound, that number of 8+ pound fish.
Exactly. It's got the 30-pound bag, could happen at any second. Like,
but not a 40.
I don't think so. I mean, like I said, somebody may have just like their day, like it's your day on the water. Like you catch a 10 or something and 8, but.
And Florida has the potential. There's some, you could do Okeechobee, Kissimmee chain. There's a couple in that, but that also, if that goes down, that would have to most likely also be a canal deal. And we saw when Polinick won on there, like, I mean, you get 3 people that find it and you're splitting all the big fish, and you have to have the right time of the year and the cold front that puts them in where they are. Yeah. And then the perfect spawning is impossible to catch those big ones. So the only lake in the country that I'm thinking of right now that has the potential to break that record 4 days in a row consistently would be Clear Lake.
I was going to say
on their upswing right now.
I've never been there, but Clear Lake would be the only one that pops into my head. And
and it's small too, which also keeps people from being able to do it 4 days in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Falcon or Amistad would be, you could always have that opportunity, but I'm not going fishing down there.
Yeah.
Like anytime.
Maybe Toledo Bend on the right day. I mean, you've spent some time on Toledo Bend. I mean, there's definitely 40 pounds swimming around on Toledo Bend. We've seen that, but it seems like the consistency there for 4 days in a row would really have to be. Yeah, Clear Lake is it.
Yeah, I mean, Pake had a hell of a showing at Rayburn. Like, I mean,
if it was a 4-day tournament, he would have shot.
He would have had a chance. Like it's hard to say. It's hard to be like, oh man, he wouldn't even come close. Like you can't. I mean,
he laid off his fish on the first day and came in with like 28.
It's crazy, dude.
Like laid off of him.
Yeah, you can't blame him on that. Like, I mean, I'm sure he lays it. Like, can be like, man, I wish I'd have, but like not knowing what's going down and stuff. Like, you don't know. Like, you can't blame him for laying off after catching almost 29. Like, but he didn't lay off the next 2 days. I can assure you.
Do you wish the elites would go out west? Like, would you like to have us do a Clear Lake, a Delta?
No, absolutely not.
Money wise or fishery wise?
Money wise, fishery, absolutely. Money wise, it would not make any sense. 0 cents. You would, besides points, you'd save a lot of money not going. Like,
what if Bass was able to somehow give you like a per diem? Like, hey guys, I know this is super expensive. You're spending $5 a gallon on gas. We're gonna add $2,500 to the entire field for going out there. Like in this tournament, like we'll have the same payout, but we'll just add $2,500 to every check.
Yeah, it'd have to be higher than that. They'd have to have at least 5. Like it'd have to be worth your time. Like I'm not driving out there to break even. Like because like you got to think about stuff like oh, you break even, like you got your money back. Well, I put wear and tear on my vehicle, I put wear and tear on my boat, wear and tear on my camper. Like something's gonna probably break in a 3-day trip. Like going. Not saying it wouldn't break if I go 10 minutes down the road, but you're just giving it an opportunity. Like it would have to be worth your while. And man, I'll be honest with you, the money ain't even close to being right to take me out there. Like not even close.
Do you like the $1,000 a tournament, 10,000 for the year, but you only get 5,500 for the top 50 now?
Say that again.
Isn't that what you guys are doing for the Elite Series? You basically pay 10 grand or $1,000 a tournament for the year, but then if you top 50 instead of the 10 grand, which $5,000, now you get 5,500. Like, are you like we're a couple years into that now? I
mean, it's basically you're winning. Like if you cut a check, you're basically profiting almost the same amount of money.
Yeah, but you're not in it.
But you're not in the hole near as bad. So I think it's a good deal. And I like paying a little bit just to have some skin in the game. Would be a layman's way to put it. But yeah, I think it helps a lot of guys out that may have been putting their self and their family in a real bad financial position. Forking out $40,000, $45,000. So now they're not having to do that. But yeah, I think it's a good deal. I don't know that the payouts will ever go up. Just the way everything looks to me right now, like it seems like everything's kind of hit a wall, I guess would be the word to say. I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole different story for a different time too. It's kind of odd, but anyway.
We'll just jump around. You want to talk about payouts? Have you heard of, not sponsored by them, chat with the guy occasionally, but I think it's interesting and it's legit. It's been around. He pays out. The checks come. Have you heard of the side pot fishing deal?
I have. I haven't partaken in any.
I'm shocked that more guys at the top level don't jump in that.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I don't know, man. Obviously it's legit. Like, people have gotten the money, but you do hear so much stuff. You get a little bit gun shy, especially
this guy. I mean, it's been around 5. I pulled it up.
Yeah, he's legit for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So like, imagine like on a so $200. Like if you had if you had all of the Elite Series guys, $200, which is a tank of gas, you're already there or whatever. It's completely unrelated to the organization. Then you get a $7,000 additional check if you won. So if everybody was in it, that's $7,000 cash you get for 10 killer for the win, and an additional $1,000, for 6 and top 10, $360.
Yeah.
It's interesting. He does it like BFL levels, Toyota. He does it at all the different levels. You can sign up right before.
All the levels.
But I'm shocked that there's not, at least a quarter of the field that jumps in that in every single tournament.
Yeah, yeah. And it may be a thing where, like, I don't really know how it works, but like, if you may be the only guy like signing up or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if there's 3 or 4, then he only pays one spot. It's based on how many people sign up. So you want more, but I mean, you could also, if you finish like 8th, you get like first place side pot money.
Yeah, yeah.
So if the 7 guys ahead of you didn't, so like there's guys that
you just got to beat the
one
guys
side pots with like a 15th place and a BFL.
Yeah, that's right. You just got to beat the guys that sign up. Basically.
I'm all in on it. I'm going to sign up for it, but maybe the only glitch in it is you can sign up for it like up until like a day before the tournament, and I just haven't been on them good enough in one of the registered tournaments, or I'm like, I'll throw an extra 200 on that for.
That's me every week.
Like if you see me sign up for side pot, I'm friggin' on them.
I guarantee if you see me sign up for that thing, I'm finna win the tournament by it'll be 30 pounds you won by. Like, damn, he was on a different lake. But no, hardly ever have I ever felt like that. Like, and the one or two times I probably felt like I was fixing to smash them, probably didn't even freaking get a bite till lunch the next day. Like, I don't know. Never works out like that way for me.
We'll take a break. We've been all over the map in this show. We will wrap it up with some classic stuff when we get back. But I like these shows that we've gone from record weights to cents to dye. We've been all over the board. And
strobe lights.
Yeah, and strobe lights. You got like we're only gonna go like another 20 minutes, but I'll run like 2.5 minutes of commercial. So like if you need to go grab a step ladder or something to get up there and mess with it. It's BTL on a Wednesday with this is your 3rd classic, right? 3-time classic qualifier and 2-time Elite Series champion. Have you won an MPFL?
No.
2-time Elite Series champion. That still sounds pretty good. Wes Logan will be back in 2.5 minutes with a well-lit Wes Logan.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
Before there were hashtags, there were handshakes and shared stories. They gave us confidence to make our first cast and chase our dreams. They taught us to fish, and in the process, taught us about life. They taught us that success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about lifting others up. The future isn't just about selling tackle. It's about 3 simple words. Let's go fishing. Here's to the original influencers.
At Beatdown Outdoors, we know you depend on your gear to hold up in any condition. We built for that. We test for that. In fact, we pride ourselves in that. Because we know when the time comes to test your gear, you aren't going to take it easy, so we won't. We build premium, made-in-the-USA products that you can rely on in the moments when your equipment should be the last thing on your mind.
I fish in some of the worst elements across the country. Spring, that's a giant, dude. Summer, oh my gosh. Hi, look at that thing. Winter, it's so cold. And fall. Got a big one, that's awesome. Being comfortable and staying dry is the only option. AFCO, any fish, any water.
All right, welcome back. BTL on a Wednesday. Joined with Wes Logan. Walk the listeners through what goes down between now and when they turn Bass Live on the first morning of the Bassmaster Classic in Knoxville, Tennessee, and what those anglers have gone through to get to that point to make that first cast just between Classic and practice week, because I don't think a lot of people understand. It's not just a show up, hey, good luck, guys, practice 3 days and go get them.
Well, I wish it was. Well, I kind of don't wish it was, because it is a cool experience, and I don't take it for granted at all. But so I'm leaving today about around lunch, going to Knoxville. I was just on Instagram. I scrolled for a second through stories, and there's like basically everybody's traveling to Knoxville basically today, because what it does is it gives you a day tomorrow to get all your tackle rigged, get everything, your bells and whistles on, your I's dotted, your T's crossed. Practice will start Friday. We'll practice Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will have a travel day Monday to the hotel, the host hotel in Knoxville. We have the rest of Monday evening to ourselves, if you want to call it that. Tuesday, we have all the meetings with Bass. They'll have all the hosts come in, and we'll get a rundown of operations and all that stuff for how it's going to work at Blast Off. Wednesday is basically a dress rehearsal. So it's our final day of practice. It's our official practice day, but we take off just like we're going to do Friday morning. We'll leave at 7 or whatever Blast Off is, be back the time we're supposed to weigh in. We'll go out in boat number order. We'll have somebody, a marshal or a marshal riding in the boat, or an observer. We'll come in Wednesday whenever we got to be in, and then we have like an hour and a half to get ready for the Night of Champions. It's a dinner that Bass hosts for us. It's a really cool deal. The AOI gets introduced, all the cool stuff that happened in the last year. Thursday morning, bright and early at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, we'll have to be somewhere for media day with our boat and truck. So you try not to stay out too late at Night of Champions, because you got to get up early the next morning, and a lot of people look like they've been, had a good time the night before for sure. But it's kind of just, having a good time, taking in all the experiences. Media day will last probably, I think they last up until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then you come back, and the real kicker is what really didn't really throw a wrench in me, but I think it throws some guys off that's never been there. You're having to rig your tackle for day one of the Bassmaster Classic, get all your boat stuff ready while media day is basically going on, unless you want to be up real late Thursday night. It's just a whole different dynamic. Like, you're trying to focus on this, but still taking time for the media people, answering questions, taking pictures, meeting people, signing autographs, all that cool stuff, which is a true blessing. But you've got to know how to balance all of it while still, knowing the task at hand is to go out there and catch bass. But and then obviously Friday morning will be game day, and fish Friday, fish Saturday, top 25 makes the cut for Sunday. If you don't make the cut, most guys, myself included, will be working the expo on Sunday for all our great sponsors. And I'll be leaving Sunday night regardless of what happens, because we start practice for the first MPFL event on Harris Chain will start that Sunday. the final day of the Bassmaster Classic. So
Wait, so even if you win the Bassmaster Classic, you'll still be
Hey,
on the
look at-
water Monday practicing for the NPFL, or
I'll
is
be
that
honest.
schedule subject to change?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If we win Sunday, I'll probably see them Thursday morning right there at Venetian Gardens and just roll up and be like, shoot, hey Brad, hey everybody, how y'all doing? I appreciate it. I'm just I'll ease around right here for a little while.
I mean, you could even Zach Burge it and just miss the first day and then cash a check and fish 2.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if I was as good as Zach Burge, I would probably do some stuff like that. But no, I'm definitely going to the tournament regardless of what happens. But it would be a lot cooler if I had a brown trophy in the truck with me. But yeah, it's a heck of a week, and this week is gonna, or this, I don't even know, 10, 11 day stretch is gonna start, a pretty wide open, 5 to 7 week stretch for me as far as 2 tournament trails go. But it's definitely you don't just show up and fish. You don't practice 3 days and roll into the tournament like we do at a normal elite event.
It's no secret. There's a lot of guys who work together on the Elite Series, guys who stay in the same house. You got the Surge squad now that seems to be making a big push, very reminiscent to me, minus potentially some of the shenanigans of the Skeet Reese, Byron Velvick, John Murray trio of days past. I think the Surge squad may be a tad tamer, but when it comes into the Bassmaster Classic time, media day, all whatever 50, 60 guys that are in there, I'm here to win. Points don't matter. No points event. I'm here to win. I'm curious about behind the scenes. Do you still work with your buddies, with your guys on the Classic week, talk about bites, share patterns, ideas if guys are struggling, or is it really kind of an every man for himself tournament?
Yeah, me personally, like I really only talk to 1 or 2 people that I really trust, and I would be more than happy to tell them anything they want to know. Like I don't know if like whoever's watching this or whoever watches this, if you want to know something from me, I will tell you. If I don't tell you, I don't want you to know. Like, I'm not going to tell you a lie. Like, I'm just not that person. I can't lie to you. Like, I don't want to. But, like, I may not tell you something, which I feel like is better than, like, unless you act like, hey, man, what color jig you catching them on? Like, I'll tell you. If I don't want you to know, I'll be like, look, dude, I'd rather not tell you. I think I got a chance to win. And if you're an angler and you don't respect that, then that's your own prerogative or your own problem. But yeah, dude, I will be happy to help anybody, because if you're somebody like, I would say that the angler I'm closest with is Bill Lowen. Like, our families are close. We camp together. I trust anything he says. He trusts me. And for me to not tell Bill something, or tell one of my really good buddies something that may help them win the Bassmaster Classic to change their life and their family's life, like, I feel like that's really selfish. Like, do I want to win? Obviously, but and I don't know how you feel about this. Like, whoever's supposed to win next Sunday or Sunday week is supposed to win. Like, it's their week. Like, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen for whoever it's supposed to happen for. And just to have that mindset and going out there, like, yeah, I mean, I work together with the same people if they're in the Classic. Like, I don't. Yeah, you obviously go into the tournament like with a different mindset from like trying to figure something out, but from
doesn't change much. It's not like buddies become. It's not like, you're at the walkthrough, you're at the arena, you're at media day, and it's like, hey, we'll be buddies next month on the Arkansas River, but like this week, where
let me tell you something. If your so-called buddy comes up and tells you like, hey man, it's Classic week, I'm not gonna talk to you. I need to do this on my own or something.
I was just curious.
I don't know how good of buddies y'all really are. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I was just curious. I mean, I thought that was a fair question.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like, I'm just telling everybody out there, like, if your buddy's telling, and that's in life in general, like if they don't want to see you succeed, you may need different friends, my guy. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Like,
Is there a Classic hangover? Like, I mean, you've had 2 middle of the roads. You've made the final day, so you know what the final day is like in the Bassmaster Classic rolling through. You also like missed it by a couple ounces and had to work the expo, which I know as much as you'll glad hand shake babies and kiss women.
Yeah.
That you don't want to be there. You'd rather be on the water. But then is it hard? Like, I know you're about to do a 13-day thing. Is there a mental struggle to like get back on the horse after it? Because I mean, in all reality, everybody but one is going to be disappointed after that tournament.
Yeah, for sure. But I think you go into it knowing that, like, especially the first one, I was a little bit, it kind of flew by. Like, it just was kind of like a whirlwind at Hartwell. Like, I had a good tournament. Like, obviously, like I said, I made the final day and stuff. But the Ray Robert, I didn't have much of, I say this, I didn't have near as bad a hangover, not like a true hangover, but
a
like
fishing
a
hangover.
Fishing hangover.
Mental.
After Ray Roberts says I did Hartwell, I was burnt out after Hartwell, but like it was just all new, like taking it all in. Like I finally got to fish in the Bassmaster Classic. Like you truly, you never take it for granted. I mean, people say that like cliche, but you don't know if you're ever going to get back. Like it's not just a given every year, especially as good at anglers as we got now. Like it's not just, you just roll in there and just catch them every time. But yeah, definitely not near as bad a hangover after Ray Roberts. And I'm definitely not going to need one after this one coming up with how fast we've got to turn around and get back to our other tournaments. But I don't know. It's just a different week. Like you've got to keep your head about yourself. Like, yeah, and you got to understand that don't feel sorry for yourself because you're tired. Like, dude, everybody's tired. The anglers, the work, like people at Bass, your wife, your family, like everybody's strung out.
Except when Carl Jacobson makes it because he runs 19 miles a day anyway. So he's probably an off week for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets to slow down and he can actually breathe a little bit. I don't have that luxury. Let me tell you something, Matt. If you see me running, you better run too because there's something chasing us. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
do you think the younger guys appreciate the Classic? So, like, making the Classic used to be a big deal, but like, I look at like a Tucker Smith, a Trey McKitty, or something like that. Like, there's guys who've made it in college; they make it every year. Said they're the top 10 of the Angler of the Year every year. Like, they've already got the Classic marked off on their damn schedule for 2028, 2029. They know they're going to be at Hartwell next year. Whereas then there's guys, like, that have done it for 30 years and made 3 classics, or it took them 10 years to make their first classic. Like, do you think that there's still an appreciation for those young guys about being one of the 400 anglers to walk across that stage in bass fishing history? Or is it a little bit taken for granted maybe in this new generation?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Cause like, I probably don't have the best relationship with the majority of them. I would hope there would be an appreciation. I still feel like it's the biggest stage in professional fishing. And I've basically fished in all 3 championships they have now, except for the whatever they call
Red Crest.
Red Crest, yeah. I fished the Forestwood Cup. Now I fished 2 NPFL championships. Which
was so badass back in the day.
Dude, I got to lead the Forestwood Cup going into the final day.
It was such a badass tournament.
Awesome tournament, dude. Like, it was way different. Looking back on it, it's way different than the Classic, like the whole setup. But it was its own. It was special in its own way. Like it was a really cool deal. But yeah, man, I really do hope they appreciate it because like you just don't want to take it for granted. Or I don't, because like I've not made it. Like it sucks. Like, and I've fished my ass off and still not made it. Like just wanting to get there. And I don't. How can I say this? I said this when I wrecked in a Mercer podcast. I didn't go back out there like for me. Like I don't want to make the Classic for myself. Like I want to do it for the logos on my boat, for my wife, for my parents that have poured so much into me. Like I want to be there for them because I appreciate everything they've done for me. Like from a personal standpoint, like obviously I want to be there and win, but really deep down, like I feel like I'm letting everybody down when I don't perform, and when I don't perform, I don't make the Classic. But you owe it to your sponsors that put all their trust and trust in you and pour so much into you to be on that biggest stage to promote their product when all the eyes are on you. So you really appreciate it when you're able to get there. Or like I said, I do, and I hope they do too. And if they're watching this, like maybe if you don't, maybe you should kind of step back and kind of really not take it for granted because it is really special and a truly great event.
But you don't have to. You obviously won't answer it because you said you won't answer questions you don't want to answer. But I also know back in the day, like the Classic was, you had the magazine cover, you had the TV, you had all that, but that was like one of the main outlets. So if you won the Classic, you had the bait. That was like your chance to have your logos out there because there was a very limited amount of print media and television airtime, and that was guaranteed for it. Do the sponsors still put an emphasis on making classics and classic performances, or is it just like a bonus for them? Because you heard guys talk about, like, there used to be a deal with a boat company, like you made the classic, you got to keep your boat, and then you could like you basically, it was like, boom, here's an extra $45,000.
That was Skeeter, correct? Am I right on that?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was.
and but now with so much
that's
more,
not there no more, I can assure you.
Yeah, so much more stuff out there. Do the sponsors put as much emphasis on making classics as a professional angler and performance as a professional angler? Like in your contracts, is it structured where classic, making the classic, blah, 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 hugely important, or is it now just part of the process, just like any other tournament?
Yeah, I definitely. I think all companies are different. Like obviously, they all have different management, all different, promotion guys and stuff like that. The ones that work with me, that I've been fortunate to work with basically my whole career, definitely put an emphasis on the classic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so and that just gives you more incentive to want to.
So when you're there in the points, like you qualified in what, 34th, 35th. Yep. So like, I mean, you won that on 10 killer, and then you had to kind of like grind it out. So you're sitting like that. Those were important last tournaments. It wasn't just I didn't make the classic this year. We move on to the next one. Like, I mean, you were trying to make sure that you made that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's always the main goal, is to get there. Cause like I said, you just get so much from it. Like, and with, like, it's hard to, like, when I say so much from it, like so much exposure, so many eyes on you, like you're one of the top, 50 anglers that year on the Bassmaster. And the more times you're there, the more people like recognize your name. Like, oh, Wes won at 10 killer. Now, hey, there's like, if they see me at the there's the guy that won 10 killer. Like, he's in the classic. Like, how's he catching them? Like, stuff like that. So it just gets you more exposure. And I think that's kind of what the companies, want from that, obviously. And, yeah, it just, I don't know. Like, I feel like I work with some really good companies, and I know what they expect from me, and I expect that from myself. So I feel like we have some really good relationships, and I do feel like from a non-endemic company type situation, I feel like you would gain a lot from consistently being in the classic, like, because it's the proverbial Super Bowl of bass fishing. Like, there's people that come to the classic that don't really know anything about bass fishing for a lot of times. Like, they just want to go there and see it. So I feel like those, non-endemic companies see that, and there's a lot more eyes on them at that tournament. And the more you're consistently there, they're like, hey, if he's going to be able to promote us on this stage, like, might need to reach out to him or try and work something out. So I don't think it's ever to wrap that up, I don't think it's ever a bad thing to make the classic.
All right. Not sponsored by BTL, nothing. I know you've been with ARC for a long time. My buddy Josh was just here to fish the Opens, and a lot of good rods on the market these days. But he was like, hey, man, look at this rod I just picked up. And it was the one that Drew Gill uses, like that spinning rod. And he's like, what do you think this is? And I was like, that's a $350 rod. He's like, that's less than a $200 rod. Thing felt amazing. It was the ARC Reinforcer, I think. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, you've been with them forever.
Yeah, I've been basically since I started, professionally while I was on FLW. So I guess 7 or 8 years I've been with them, and man, it's grown like really fast, really quick, and Louis, the owner over there, he works his freaking butt off. Like, and it's a really cool company to work with, because like he's a fisherman, like an avid fisherman, but he also listens to the input that we have and doesn't just go in one ear and out the other. Like, he puts it into products, and then a lot of testing going on. Like, we try and do it the right way. And I think it's kind of starting to show up to people, like how good the stuff is at the price point that it is also.
I think it might've been the new Sniper.
The Sniper's really good.
It was the new Sniper. It's less than $200. I know.
Yeah, the Reinforcer is like a 360, 300.
Yeah, never mind. It had to have been the Sniper then.
Yes, I've got a few. I don't have the spinning rods. I got some casting rods, but I mainly use all of my stuff. But we have like we basically have a line of rods for any person, like any individual, like price point, style, cork, EVA, all that good stuff. Like
do they do hard baits anymore? Like there's a while there where yeah. I mean, I know we're dropping it all the time, and you got all the hard baits and stuff too still.
Yeah, absolutely. The lipless is really good. I use a lot of the Z series stuff that we got. It's really good. They got their jerk bait's a really good fish catcher. It's kind of a mix between a mega bass and a lucky craft, I feel like, from an action standpoint. So it can be good in like warm water and cold water. But yeah, they make some, like I said, the attention to detail in a lot of their stuff is just kind of what separates us, I feel like.
I just realized this. Louis runs that, right?
Oh yeah.
The band appreciates the power fisherman. So
100%.
Like Randall, is Randall still with him?
Oh yeah.
Randall, Brandon Cobb, you, Brock Mosley.
Yep.
Brock Mosley.
Bill.
Don't sleep on Spencer. Spencer Sheffield is power fisherman. He just happens to also be really good with scope.
Really good at scope. Like he's good at both. I mean, he grew up fishing. Obviously.
Yeah. Bill Lowen. Yeah, all these guys are like, we'll just kick your teeth in with a 3/4 ounce black and blue jig and 25 contest string.
Hey. Oh, with a 7.6 heavy flipping stick. Get out of the freaking way.
That's funny.
It works for him. Like, it's a good company. Like, I'll give him that. Like,
yeah. So you're leaving today. I appreciate you doing the show this morning.
No, it's all good. We're gonna leave.
You packed?
For the most part, I got everything packed besides my fishing stuff. I don't know if that's really important or not, but
when you say not packed, like boat's a disaster, you don't even know what you're bringing, or it's just like not organized.
I got everything. I basically got everything I own, because when I leave today, it's no shit, Matt. When I leave today, I won't be back for 6 weeks. I won't be back home for 6 weeks.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. I got to leave. We'll fish the Classic, go to Harris Chain for MPFL, leave straight from the Harris Chain, go to the Tom Bigby, leave straight from the Tom Bigby, I got to go to Table Rock and film Ultimate Match Fishing. I'll leave straight from Table Rock, go to the Arkansas River. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, right after the Arkansas River, we have the OBT media event.
The media event. I won't be there because that's the middle end of April, and I'll be at the Open on Grand.
Yeah, so I'll go to the media event straight after Arkansas River. Hell, it may be longer than 6 weeks, and drive straight to Wright Patman for 1 day of practice for the MPFL event. It's insane, dude. It is absolutely.
Holy cow! You're doing some juggernaut fisheries. Then you've got that. What's that river on the Elite Series deal that's around?
Tom Bigby.
Yeah, you got Tom Bigby, Arkansas River, and Wright Patman in like a 5-week stretch.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
And the Tennessee River's not exactly easy.
Boy, it's not lights out. I can go ahead and assure you.
But dude, that's your style. You got to be pumped for that.
Yeah, I hope it rains. I need some damn rain.
You don't want it to rain on the Arkansas River. You won't be fishing on the Arkansas River if it rains.
I've already
pulling a Tommy Biffle.
Yeah, I've already heard that if it rains there, we won't be having that tournament. But I would like to. I fished one open there. I'd like to get a little bit of revenge on that place, but I don't know. Yeah, we're fixing to be wide open. But I say all that to say everything that I basically have packed is everything I own. Like, if I can't catch them on what I got, now it's all in different places. I got to get it together for each tournament. But if I don't catch them with what's packed in that truck or boat, it ain't.
Outside of the Classic, you're going to fish 4 tournaments in a row where 2.5 pounders valuable.
Good one. Yeah.
You can boat flip good ones.
2.5 pounders are always good with me for the majority of the time. Like, except for Gunner Tool was kind of an anomaly. I hardly ever do good in Slugfest, and I got fortunate and found a really good area that I was catching them better than everybody else for some reason.
Was the grub on anybody's radar in the entire field on the Elite Series, or when you found out how it went down, was it like a tip of the cap?
Yeah, it was on somebody's radar.
I mean, besides Hank's.
Not that I heard. I don't know. so they held me back on day 3. I had a good bag. I think I weighed in 24.5 or something. So it was me and 2 other, I don't even remember who it was. They kind of hold us back for the end of the weigh-in, and Hank
Yeah.
He was like, I said, you got him? He was like, I got like 20, 21. I was like, damn. And me and Hank are like I talked to him whenever I see him. Like I ain't gonna lie to him. He ain't gonna lie to me. He's like, catching them crappie fishing. I said, what? He said, I'm catching them on a crappie grub. I said, well, number one, you're full of shit. He's like, no, I'm not. I swear. He said, I'm catching them on a grub. I was like, go, boy, go. Like, you do you, man. Like, and he literally told me, I don't know if he would mind if I said this or not. He was like, if I could keep them from straightening my hook out, I'd have 27 to 30 pounds every day.
Oh my God.
Dude wasn't like, and I knew it. I mean, obviously I knew he wasn't lying, but like it kind of go, you're like sitting back there, you're more focused on yourself.
Yeah, you're like, I'm about to get beat on a spinnerbait trailer.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if he can, like I said, it's one of them things where it was his tournament to win. Like it was his time. It was meant to be for him, and the way he did it was super cool. Like it was like, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
like,
it's got to be the only tournament I can remember where the winner was the only one
doing it,
throwing that bait on the final day in the last. It used to be like pretty consistently was won that way. Like it'd be like, you'd have 2 or 3 a year where a guy was like, I found a magic bait that they ate, and everybody else was like, damn, I should have tied that on. But this was the first one I can remember in 5 years where the winner was completely off the radar as far as the bait he was throwing, and it made that much difference.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it was just that, like, it's something those fish haven't seen in maybe ever. Like, I'm sure somebody's caught some fish on a grub at Gundam at some point, but like,
do you not think, like, let's say you had found those fish and you'd like figured something out, do you not think they'd have eaten a 1/4 ounce swim jig with a grub or with a? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, do you think you could have? And then all of a sudden it would have been like swim jig wins on gutter. Like, I wonder, like, if it was just the bear grub the way he fished it, or if it was just like that profile in the air. Like could those fish have been caught on a Bill Lowen or Wes Logan swim jig if you had found that group of fish?
I don't know,
I'm
man.
Curious on that.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to say because I've never caught them doing that. But I know it's like a Lake Norman thing, and like when the water's that cold, like that's what they bite. Like they don't want a lot of action. Like you just throw it out there and basically crappie fish it back. I mean, but with him having that much, experience doing it at Norman, I think it'd be just like me going up and, swimming a jig and some primrose or something. Like you could just go, like when you see it and like the light bulb goes off, you're like, oh, I'm fitting to get their ass. Like, I think that's kind of what that was. And I think it was probably the best bait for that situation with no scope. Like,
yeah, it reminded me a lot of Casey Ashley's classic win with the homemade underspin.
Best, like if you're going to put something in his hand to beat you with, that's what it's going to be. Like,
yeah, like those two tournaments kind of seemed similar to me. It was cold. It was a small diminutive bait. Like not a lot of guys are throwing it. He really put that on. I mean, I know the underspin out west and guys have been throwing it, but it was like, just like Hank out there, those Carolinas, dude, you want to talk about a group of guys with some sneaky baits that they will not tell any. I mean, they'll friggin' put their best friend 6 feet under before they tell. They're a handful of crazy sneaky baits out there. You talk about your Brian Thrifts and your Brian News and Casey Ashleys and Hank Cherries and all that. The Carolina guys can get down with the sneaky baits. Yeah,
a lot of hair and stuff too that stays hidden. Like there's like little tricks and nuances that get them, real smart fish, the bigger than average ones to commit when all of us other ones are out there just chunking and winding, hoping and praying.
Yeah. Drive safe, dude. Good luck.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, buddy.
All right, see you, Wes. Yeah. All right, that is Wes Logan. A lot of guys in the comments, instant feedback, have said that hard not to root for Wes Logan heading into his 3rd classic, and I think he's got a lot of momentum headed into, like I said, his last 5 events. He top 5 Gunnersville. He won. He won on 10 Killer. Seems to be in a really good headspace. So as he heads into it as one of the last of the, he doesn't like that phrase, but it's one of the last of the old school guys I could potentially see. And we'll do a classic kind of preview show with some guys not fishing in the classic because they'll be on it, but with some of the pundits next week. But I could see it being a hybrid classic You take, what Ott's done and then what Gussie's done there. You look at the field and who's in the field. I think a lot of the scope, the minnow fish and all that, like, I mean, it could be totally blown away doing that. But I was looking at the Knoxville weather heading into it, and you're talking about highs in the 70s and 80s and lows in the 60s during their practice. And then, their off day there, the lows are like 60, 56, 62, 67. And then their runaround day is 77. Then their off day, cold front, bluebird skies, highs only 60, low is freezing, like right around the freezing degree temperature mark. And it's 20 degrees lower. I mean, this stuff could change in 10 days, but it's 20 degrees lower on that off day, the transition day that they're not on the water, than it's going to be the first morning Friday. The Classic starts on Friday the 13th. That'll be really lucky. That'll be really lucky for someone. So I think we might be doing a CTL tonight. It kind of depends on Zeke and his schedule. We'll talk a little bit about open water. I was messing around. That's a little muddy water Lake Eufaula crappie. It's actually pretty big. That's a 3/8 ounce crappie jig right there. And then next Tuesday, the next CTL will drop, and it's a banger. We're Zeke and I went out and absolutely waylaid them, and we're even catching crappie, dropping on them on 5 and 6 inch minnows, which absolutely blew his mind. But as a guy who scopes a lot of me, you go to all these lakes and you see crappie and stuff will eat a 5 inch minnow with no problem. So if you have any questions about the fishing chaos, I'm going to harp on this for the next 45. Now I'll mention it for the next 45 days. I'm going to come out with a little bit of video. If you follow me on Instagram at Matt Pangrak. I kind of do a walkthrough from the information about it, catching the fish, measuring the fish, submitting it. It's super easy. It's 3 clicks. I can do it. Despite running a podcast, I'm not incredibly technologically savvy. No issues with it as far as downloading it on my iPhone. You can also do it on the Android. They're really good about answering questions. And like I said, even if it's not your cup of tea and you're planning on going fishing, all $25 directly donated to St. Jude. We just eclipsed the $3,000 mark of BTL listeners that are signing up for this, that are fishing, that are competing against other guys in other regions. Along with that, you can also simultaneously, I think it's $20, sign up for the Strike King Road to the Opens. If you fish tournaments, if you're looking at it and you're going, man, that Opens, $2,000 a tournament, that's $8,000 in, all that. You fish a lot. This is an opportunity, and you can submit the same fish through Fishing Chaos for any of the currently running tournaments that are there. Strike King is doing this badass like road to the Opens, where if you finish, I think I might get some of the details wrong. You need to check it, but when you sign up for that, the Strike King one is there too. It's only $20, and if you finish, I think in the top 25 or the top percentage of each of your divisions on your total length, you get invited to like an in-person championship on Table Rock later this year. And then the winner of that, all expenses paid into the Opens. So if you're going fishing anyway, there's no reason not to jump in that. You get your $25 donation to St. Jude, you jump in that, and you're in the game. You legitimately are in the game with that, because if you do that and then you win it, and then you go to the Opens and you qualify for the Opens through the Elite Series and you make the Bassmaster Classic through it, this could be your first step to the Bassmaster Classic. You cannot make the Bassmaster Classic through the St. Jude, but you can feel good about yourself for beating your buddies, being on the top of the leaderboard, win some cash prize for first place in each. Weekly Big Bass is a $25 gift code from AFCO. Thank you for AFCO for doing that. It'll just be sent straight to your email box every week. I think there's 27 inchers, so you guys have your work cut out for you there for the first week that ends on the 7th. But you can sign up now. You can sign up anytime you plan on fishing. It's a 45-day tournament. You don't have to catch them all in one day. All right, I think that was it. I really like Wes Logan as a guest on BTL. I'll tell you, two of the guys who go a little bit deeper in interviews than you would expect them to go, where you learn a lot during the interviews, which you learn a lot during it, but sometimes it follows the structure. Had them both on this week. Patrick Walters. If you haven't had a chance to go back and listen to Patrick Walters, it says the NPFL closer on it. We talk a little bit about his win on the NPFL, but basically how he won that NPFL is like an hour show surrounding it. And if you want to talk about adjustments, time on the water, your mental approach, tournament strategy, finding fish fast, trusting your gut. Like, it's not just like, hey, this is how I caught him on Smith. It is applicable across the country, regardless of what you fish. And I learned a lot from the Patrick Walters interview. Is very open. And then the same with Wes Logan today. 31. He's kind of the, I don't want to say dying breed, but they said he could scope too. But man, if it's up, if it's shallow, I mean, everyone kind of knows Wes Logan as he's going to be boat flipping the majority of things that bite his cricket. So this has been another edition of BTL. We got Frank Scalish live tomorrow, the last one before the Classic. We'll have the details of where and when we'll be at the Classic, and we might even announce the signature color lure that Frank is going to be autographing at the Bassmaster Classic at the Pradco booth on Friday and Saturday. I'll also have my schedule out. I'll be at Pro Bass Adventures. If you guys have any questions about fishing down at Lake Baccarat or El Salto in Mexico, you can come by. You can meet the owner, Josh. I'll be hanging out there. I'll be at the Pro Guide booth. I'll have my schedule out on all those things too. The AFCO booth, Spro, Sunline, Gamakatsu. It'll be a good time. All right. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow. See ya.